So y'all call me Joey, it's fine. The only thing that I absolutely, definitely intended to say in here was to express my gratitude because we could use all the help we can get in the music department. So just the fact that you all are willing to advocate on our behalf, we're all really grateful. Thanks for the help. And what we have to deal with on our end in the music department, we don't offer a major in music. And it's something that we plan on offering in the future, hopefully the not too distant future. But it's hard when you're in the shadow of UT, who's got the Butler School of Music, and Texas State, that has who also has an incredibly robust music program to foster the growth of music education at St. Edward's. So we are growing, but it's like this whole in-house thing. And because we don't offer a major in music, I can't recruit off campus. It just doesn't really work. I can't throw money at students to come. Wish I could, but it's just not in the cards for us right now. So we've got these delicious lemons, and we're making delicious lemonade. All our recruiting happens here on campus, and people go to St. Ed's to study something else, and then they find out that we have a music program, and then they get involved. It is a very fraternal kind of situation over in the music department. I'm thinking of our jazz bands and our mariachi ensemble. The ensembles that I direct are the ones that I'm obviously the most aware of, and that's the kind of vibe that's going on in our ensembles. Our students really claim ownership of those groups, and it's a really kind of filial relationship we have with each other. I like to talk about music. I think it's something that I do well. I like to play music, and I like to talk about it. Those are some of my strengths, I think. Some of my weaknesses, marketing. I have absolutely no idea how to market our groups. So the things that we've done in the past, I've had student workers see, you might see a flyer here in this building or elsewhere on campus that says "Calling all mariachis." Okay. That's our best effort. And I've posted ads in Horizon, Student E-News, the graduate newsletter, just saying calling all mariachis, calling all jazz musicians. We're looking for student musicians to get involved. These are actually registered classes. I mean, you sign up for jazz band, it's a 1-hour course here. Our program's growing, but definitely I'm open to suggestions. There's no doubt in my mind we could be doing a better job of getting people involved and increasing our profile on campus, because that's really the end goal, I think, is increasing our profile on campus.
And so what we had, if I can interrupt, was a pretty good meeting where that was the gist of what we talked about. But we broke it down to a few pretty succinct issues or needs that we would like to work on for you. We have 4 groups here though, and so we're wondering if we created the best mix of needs to work on, or if there's something that can be broken down, or if there's something we missed. So we ensure that each group can address a different need for you, and we can ensure that you get whatever help we can offer. So what do you think? I know recruiting players on campus was definitely a big one that you had mentioned previously.
I think these 3 are spot on. Is there a 4th that I'm missing?
There's not a 4th. We want to create one, and so that was sort of the brain picking part of today. So that each group can do something that will be useful and helpful to you, and there's going to be 4 groups. So what else, what I missed, what else can we do?
Well, first off, I think these are spot on. Our formal performances, even our informal performances, our informal performances are at the Huddle with the jazz band and the mariachi ensemble and the coffee shop. But if I had to guess, people are going to the Huddle on those nights to get a burrito. People are going to the coffee shop to get a coffee, okay? And if we could get them out to see our music, specifically, that'd be great. So, you know, this speaks to me right here.
The best approach.
Yeah, our formal concerts are typically, you know, our fall concert, our spring concert, and each of our ensembles has a fall concert and a spring concert. Also in the spring we do the St. Edward's Music Festival, and the attendance is woefully low at all our formal events. I mean, you know, we don't offer, we don't sell booze. There's nothing to eat or drink. It's not a dance venue. So it almost feels like we've got all the cards stacked against us to begin with. But if there's anything that we could do from a marketing side, or you know, just to get the word out that we actually do have this week-long music festival in the spring, that would be killer.
Who helps you with setting it up and getting getting it organized and all that? Is it just you and your group, or are there volunteers? Is that something?
No, it's we travel really light.
Yeah.
You know, we schedule these dates in late July, and then we work with the Ragsdale Center to actually set up a sound system for us. But other than that, you know, I usually have like one student worker taking admission at the door, and that's it.
So maybe there's an administrative side that we're missing that we might be able to think about.
I could use a ton of help with
right? And so maybe that's where our fourth point is how do we address that? How do we make sure you get the help you need for the administrative duties so that you actively are able to have fun with the promotion side of things? So
okay,
that's something.
That's a great idea. Another idea, which you know might even could fall under another one of these pre-existing categories. The jazz band released a CD in June.
Which I got a copy of. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And we're real proud of it, and you know, wouldn't hurt to let people know that it's available for purchase. So there's an idea. I plan on doing a recording at the end of this semester, like right after finals. Our mariachi ensemble is going to go in and do another CD. So just to let people know, I mean, if you go to the Think website and navigate your way to this really obscure link called discography, you know, under the music department, you'll see that the jazz band's got 2 CDs available for purchase, and the mariachi ensemble has 1 that's currently available for purchase, and you know, it's kind of a little known fact.
And another thing that I'm not sure, I had to kind of dig around to find you as well. Joey's pretty famous and has worked with some amazing people, and the way I know this is through LinkedIn. I read all about you, and you know, you're a promotional tool in my opinion as well, and that might be something that we need to figure out how it works in. I mean, sorry, I'm nosy, I look things up and do things like that, but really amazing career. And so we're lucky to have you, and I guess everyone should realize who's running the show, you know.
Shucks.
Yeah. Okay, let me open it up so that, you know, there should be bunches of questions out there. If you wouldn't mind fielding them.
No, not at all.
If it gets to be too much, let us know and we'll mellow out and stop asking. So what questions do you guys have for Joey and for this upcoming project?
I have a question.
Sure.
You stated that you guys have a mariachi band, and this is my first year at Tenets, and I noticed that we hired a mariachi band to play at the 16 de Septiembre festival.
Yep.
Maybe we can get you involved a little bit more in the stuff that's going on. I know
it smarts a little when that happens, I gotta tell you.
So, I mean, I know there's something coming up in May that we can try to get you guys involved with, and that gives you guys a little bit more.
That would be beautiful.
And I think that's a great suggestion, by the way, Cynthia. I think the combination and the connection with other groups and entities on campus would definitely be a way to increase awareness of what's going on right here on our own campus.
Correct,
so.
because I asked about that. I'm like, do we not have one? And the person that was running it didn't even realize we had a mariachi band on campus. So
good.
It's definitely awareness on that.
Yeah.
So collaborative, ideas are something that you should definitely consider working on. That's good.
I think you're spot on.
All right, what else? Oh, I already know they're out there because you've already told me what they are, so let's go.
What time are your ensembles like convene usually?
You mean for like rehearsals?
Yeah.
Okay. Our top jazz band, which is called Steady, that meets Mondays and Wednesdays from 5:30 to 7. Our second jazz band, we've got 2 big bands and we've got a small improv combo. Our second big band is called the Lab Band, and that meets Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 6:30. All this happens upstairs in the carriage house. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, also at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 5 is our jazz improv combo. And that's going to be like more like a small group kind of, less Count Basie or Duke Ellington and more like Coltrane and Miles. Yeah. And our mariachi ensemble meets on Monday and Wednesday nights from 7 to 9. And all those rehearsals are open. I mean, in the sense that if any of you ever just wanted to put your head in and say hello or sit down and listen, you're more than welcome to.
And that's really good to know as well.
Yeah, sure.
So sit in and listen. You know, one thing that, if you guys don't mind me interrupting, one thing that you had talked about is the recruiting efforts. Is there a cap? Is there a maximum? What are you looking for by way of numbers?
I'm looking to bust that maximum.
Okay.
A couple of times I've had to call Kim Livingston in the dean's office and petition to have our enrollment max lifted or raised. And for me, that's a huge victory.
Okay.
When I first started here, we had 8 registered students in jazz band. We had 1 jazz band with 8 registered students. Now we've got 2 big bands in a combo. So yeah, I'm all about growth.
Okay. All right, what else, guys? Laura?
Well, I had a few questions, but one of them, you said that you were recruiting just through, like, St. Edward's, the e-news, things like that. Would you be open to using, because I'm a digital media major, I have to ask, social media more, like maybe a Facebook page or something like that?
Yeah, and I just failed to mention that. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have a Facebook page. The
Okay.
St. Ed's Music Department has a Facebook page, and the School of Humanities also has a Facebook page. And if you go to their Facebook page, the first thing you see is our mariachi ensemble. You know, is their whatever you call it, their cover photo, or I'm not down with the lingo.
Laura? I'm just kidding. Okay, what else?
How do you guys fundraise money?
How do we fundraise money? You know, it's something that we don't do well, but I am proud of the efforts that we do make. Like our CDs, we financed ourselves by playing gigs, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all I know how to do. So definitely I'd be open to suggestions. But when undergraduate admissions or the Holy Cross Institute or the Kosmetsky Center or any of these on-campus entities ask us to play an on-campus function, we get $250 for that.
So you do off and on campus?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, our previous department head knew a lot about asking donors for money. He was really good at that. I just don't know anything about it. For me, that's sailing uncharted seas. But I'd totally be interested in any kind of fundraising ideas you have. Kick me the knowledge.
It's a really good question. Bobby,
Yeah.
did you have one?
Yeah, as far as increasing awareness, like, would you prefer like mouth to mouth, like, or like posters or something like that?
Just all of the above. I mean, you know, in my mind, if you have some sort of physical documentation like a poster, then it's up there for everybody to see. But I'm just, you know, I'm not the expert in that field, so I really don't know. As far as my preferences are concerned, it seems to me like the mouth, you know, the word of mouth thing has really panned out for us in the past, because as far as, you know, the recruiting efforts that we've made and the success that we've had, it's always been so-and-so's got a buddy in his dorm that plays the violin. Maybe, you know, maybe he might be interested. And so it's almost like our students, I hate to use the word solicit, but you know, it's kind of like that. They tell their friends about us. Or the student involvement fair, actually. We've had some huge success there just by people walking past our table and asking us what we're about.
That was a good question. Jude, what's your question?
How often do you guys play at the huddle or at the coffee
Okay.
shop?
So, members
And
of
time as well.
members of our lab band play at the huddle every Thursday from 7 to 9. So that's a weekly thing. And then members of Steady, and I say members because it's not the whole band. It's like a small group sort of open mic kind of situation. Members of Steady play at the coffee shop the first and third Tuesday of every month from 7 to 9. And then the mariachi ensemble plays at the huddle on Wednesdays every other Wednesday. So we'll be there this Wednesday. We'll be there tomorrow from 8 to 9.
8 to 9, and
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, I mean, by that time, a lot of students are already gone home, or if their commuters are already back home. Do you think maybe, like I see a lot of organizations around the bookstore and Woodward, and would you guys be willing to play maybe like during the day? I know a lot more people walk right by there.
Yeah, you know, it's a good idea. It's more often than not, I would be the fly in the ointment. Because I'm teaching 5 classes at St. Ed's, and I'm also working on my doctorate right now. So I'm taking 4 classes at UT, and I'm bouncing back and forth between classes. So it's just really difficult to get all of us in the same place at the same time together. And one of the reasons why we play at the huddle on Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 is because it's during our actual class time. So I can expect everybody to be there. You know, it was like a mutually convenient time for us to gig on a regular basis. And you know, for me, I'm a performer. I fell into this teaching thing by accident. It was a fluke. I didn't apply for this job.
It got you.
Yeah, and so I was looking at it from a performer's perspective, which is, you know, I wasn't even really that concerned when I set it up about whether or not people would come out and hear us. I just wanted my students to get up and play in front of whoever would listen. You know, I was trying to get them to be performers, but I've outgrown that a little. So definitely, I'm interested in any kind of ideas that you would have that could maximize, you know, our attendance potential.
And you have to understand, I mean, put yourself in the performer's shoes. What's it like? Have you done a presentation? Have you done a play? Have you been in a band? What's it like to get up and, you know, put your heart out there, giving it your best shot and have 0 response?
Yeah, it is
It's
so much easier.
Heartbreaking.
So much easier to play when you feel like there's a relationship with you and an audience and they actually like what you're doing. Or, you know, I mean, when it's just that one person back there doing this, you're like, oh my God, that's tough.
And then I think you all deserve better. You're doing a wonderful job, and we're going to do whatever we can to help as well. You had a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you know, Austin's full of great musicians, and I mean, maybe for a fundraising idea, or maybe just to get more word out, you know, you could hold, like, maybe rent out a ballroom and feature, you know, it probably wouldn't be too hard to get some notable musicians. I'm assuming yourself, you know a lot about it too, to come, not even so much talk about, or like kind of during a meeting, you know, talk about careers in the music industry, and then furthermore, kind of talk about the music department here at St. Ed's. But you know, I think a lot of people, I think the majority of people are interested in music.
Mm-hmm.
So if you kind of have this way of kind of promoting that we're going to talk about careers in music, people will be interested to come learn more about what's going on. And then you can talk about the, you know, and if you gather them in there, then you can talk about the department. So.
Yeah, it's, you know, again, with the off-campus stuff, all of a sudden we're in direct competition with UT and Texas State, it seems. And it's just so hard to compete with that because they have programs that have been up and running for years and years and years with really established and respected professors. And not that we don't have that, but you know, I feel like our thing is, for all intents and purposes, brand new. So the off-campus thing, it gets difficult for us because we don't come with that history of credibility. You know, I'm just thinking in terms of, like, for example, at this very moment, we're trying to put together for the first time an instrumental jazz camp for the summertime, you know, summer band camp for like middle school and high school students. And, you know, this is something that UT's done forever, Baylor's got one, Texas Tech's got one. I mean, they're all over the place, and they've been up and running for years. But for us to do that, it's a little more difficult for us because, number one, we don't even have a bathroom in the carriage house. You know, every public middle school in the state of Texas has better facilities than we do. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just the truth. We've got 2 practice rooms. So it complicates things for us.
Do you need to know any information about that? Is there anything we can work on to help you get set up for your summer band camp?
I know that we've already been working with the marketing department here at St. Ed's, and above and beyond that, you know, Morris is the go-to guy on that. He's our department head, and he's also the coordinator of vocal music. So our department's kind of split right down the middle, and I do instrumental, and he does all the choral stuff. But he's also, you know, the guy that's been dialoguing with
so that's going forward.
with marketing.
I mean, there sounds like there's several different areas that we can at least offer recommendations on.
Definitely.
Which, you know, a lot of the research we do will come firsthand from the students here, and who better to tell you, you know, what would inspire them to participate and join and watch and all that great stuff than that firsthand knowledge from the students here. And so that's definitely something that we'll be able to help you with. I just want to make sure we're giving you the best help that we can. So if there's anything else that you can think of that we didn't talk about within these few, let us know.
Did we come up with a 4th idea? I mean,
you know, there's one thing that I really liked, and that sort of goes along with approaches to marketing. I love that the fundraising came up. That could definitely be a separate entity unto itself because it's such a big thing to recognize, because we can look at other schools' models.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are they handling it? And it's just recommendations. We're not going off and doing anything, so we'll let you know what other people are doing. And I think that might be a neat 4th area to look at.
And we have legitimate needs for funds.
Yeah, sure.
You know, our mariachis need trajes. We just do. You know, I mean, we look okay in black pants and white button-down shirts, but it's not really legit. So, you know, we need the pants that jingle. Yeah. Yeah, and they're not cheap. I mean, typically a traje starts at like $300, somewhere around 300, 285, 300, and they go up to 600, right in there. That's the range of a nice one. So, and you know, it's you have to take 14 measurements to get one person fitted for a traje, and then that person graduates, and it's like, oh no, here we are. I can pretty much promise that particular suit is never going to fit anybody else again. You know, we need that. Our jazz ensembles, you know, we could use a baritone saxophone. I mean, they're enormously cost prohibitive. It's, you know, the going rate on a bari sax is, you know, $5,000 is a fair price on an average horn. And nobody comes to school with their $5,000 baris. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So that chair doesn't get filled in the ensemble, and those chords don't get voiced out. And so I'm constantly thinking to myself, you know, it sure would be cool if we had a bari player, but we need a horn. I mean, we got a drum set a couple of years ago. That was a big victory for us because people don't come to school with their drum sets.
I have a question. On the performances that you guys do have, is there a capacity where people from outside the school can come in? Like people can bring in their families and friends to be able to.
Yeah.
And then that could be like $1 at the door or something, and that could be a way to fundraise or something like that.
Yeah, I
Or even
mean,
donations.
you know,
Yeah, or
honestly,
donations, yeah.
yeah, and so we haven't, you know, our things that we do at the Huddle and the coffee shop, we don't charge admission for that. Just because
You want the awareness first.
first and foremost, I like the fact that we've got a relationship with the Huddle, and some of my students' best learning happens there. They're a part of my lesson plan, so I'm appreciative for that. For our formal concerts, like the music festival that we do at the end of February, and our fall and spring concerts, we charge $5 at the door, you know, something like that. But definitely, I mean, I don't send out Facebook invitations anymore because I've been inundated with those myself. I don't ever read those. But, you know, I will make it my status update. We're playing at the Huddle, you know, so there it just popped up in your news feed. You had to read it. I do that.
Do you use Twitter?
I don't use Twitter.
Okay.
I don't. I know, yeah, man, I've got a lot to keep up with as it is. But I know that we do have a music department Twitter account.
Okay.
I'm just not the one that operates it. I
Okay.
think one of Morris's student assistants does that.
What else, guys? Good, good, no good.
Are y'all allowed to merchandise stuff at St. Joe's right over here? Like have a bump your music and just have like flyers right next to it? Like,
You know, it's just an unturned stone. A stone that hasn't been.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's an
I don't know if
excellent
the
question.
Huddle's part of
I don't
St.
know
Joe's,
either.
that's a separate thing.
It's an excellent question, but you know, I mean, if we're gonna go down that road, you know, might as well throw the Huddle in there too. See if Bon Appetit would let us, you know, put some CDs
Right,
in the
exactly.
Huddle, and then while we're at it, maybe even the campus bookstore.
Sure.
Yeah,
Just like they do at Starbucks, they always have
Yeah.
those CDs. It's absolutely,
right on.
it's a good question.
And have them play the music in the store.
Yeah, if they can stomach it, yeah, sure. I think it's a great idea.
I'm sure it's better than some of the stuff I have to stomach when I walk in there. It'd be just fine, right? I would say it's much better than
Yeah.
some of that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? This is it. You're not gonna inundate Joey with a bazillion questions. He's a busy man, so you got him now. If you're done, that's
You know what
cool.
though, and yet at the same time, if you see me on campus, like if I'm walking this way and you're walking that way, I am approachable, so.
I was gonna say keep walking, but okay. Or Joey runs. That it? Are we good? You guys feel confident? You have all the information you need to start addressing some of the needs here. Speak now or forever hold your peace, my friends. Okay.
All right, well, this was really nice, so thanks for letting me kick it with you for a little while.
The next steps, let me explain it, and then you can clap away.